Welcome to another edition of the SABC News COVID-19 Global Wrap. I'm Bosisiwa Khadebe, and this week I'm bringing you highlights of the coronavirus pandemic news that dominated headlines. However, before we delve into it, let us have a look at some global stats. The world has currently recorded over 525.9 million cases, with over 495.7 million recoveries and over 6.2 million deaths. Meanwhile, South Africa has 3,915,258 confirmed cases, with 3,733,569 recoveries and 100,898 deaths. Africa has so far recorded over 12 million cases of the coronavirus, with over 11.2 million recoveries and over 254,548 deaths. Staying in Africa, data from the World Health Organization reveals that only 17% of Africa's 1.3 billion population is fully vaccinated against COVID-19, compared to over 70% in some countries. Inoculation rates are now declining as doses are finally implemented across the continent. According to the WHO, the number of shots given out fell 35% in March, reversing a 23% increase in February. Now, though, as doses finally arrive in force in the continent, inoculation rates are falling. Public health specialists within the continent have expressed concern that leaving such a large population unvaccinated increases the risk of new variants emerging. In a sign of possible perils to come, cases of 2 Omicron subvariants have shot up in recent weeks in South Africa, the continent's worst-hit nation, prompting officials there to warn of a 5th wave of infections. Meanwhile, to boost uptake, countries including Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, and Kenya are focusing on mobile vaccination campaigns that visit communities. However, finances are stretched. And in international news, COVID-19 is on the rise in the Americas, according to the Pan-American Health Organization. This comes as many countries have abandoned measures such as masking and social distancing, and as vaccination rates in many countries continue to lag. According to PAO, cases in the region increased by 27.2% last week compared to the previous week, owing primarily to an increase in infections in the United States, as U.S. cases jumped by 33% to 605,000 in the last week. In Asia, China has removed certain COVID-19 test requirements for people flying in from countries, including the United States, and shortened the pre-departure quarantine period for some inbound travelers. From Friday, travelers from the United States will no longer need an RT-PCR test 7 days before flying. Those travelers will still need to do 2 RT-PCR tests within 48 or 24 hours of their flights, depending on which airport they are flying out of, and will also need another pre-flight antigen test. And finally, in Europe, British Health Minister Sajid Javid says a lack of clear information out of China in the early stages of the coronavirus pandemic has left the whole world in a worse situation. Speaking before a G7 health ministers conference on Thursday, Javid said that better information sharing would help avoid a repeat of the COVID crisis. He said he supported the establishment of a new G20 financial intermediary fund, but he wanted to see more information to ensure it was very responsive to the needs of low and middle income countries.